Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today we are flipping through my 2024 reading journal. I can't believe I have been in this journal for a year. It feels like yesterday that I was setting this up, but I'm excited to flip through the pages with you and tell you a little bit about how this reading journal served me for the year of 2024. Let's get started. This book belongs to Becca. Indeed it does. I had this little tip in here. I will reference it in a little bit once we get to my bookshelf spreads. But opening up to what I call the cover page, or the beginning of journal spreads, I guess, we had my title page, 2024 reading journal, and my goals for the year. If you are interested in hearing more about my goals, subscribe, stay tuned to the channel. It will be coming in another video in a couple of days here, pretty soon. I love having this laid out at the beginning of the journal, just so it's always a reminder to me of what I am working toward in my reading. Here are those bookshelf spreads I was talking about. I had a shelf for every month of the year, and when I'd complete a book, I would draw in the book. I would color coordinate it based on this. Can you see it? Can you see it? Star rating. And I'd write the title in the book. It was always fun to see the spread of ratings, and then also like when I read an astronomical amount of books in one month, that shelf really filled up. So yeah, I just loved having these as more of a visual view of my reading for the year. Next up, we've got my 2024 reading and review spread. This is where I get all the stats, my statistical information on my reading for the year. Up here, we list the amount of books I read per month. Then I put a tick for every book I read in the format category, the author, the ratings, if there was LGBTQ plus representation. I put a tick in for the genre, for the age demographic, and then the year that it was published. I don't know, I just like seeing this spread and seeing, wow, I really read a lot of adult books, way more than new adult. Or you can definitely see my average rating is going to be about a 4-star because of how many tick marks I have there. Yeah, this is just a fun overview of my reading for the year. Next up, we've got a monthly reading review, which is similar, but I just wanted the amount of books read per month, the pages read per month, did I complete my TBR or not? How many new favorites did I find? And more so, the favorites are just how many 5 stars I read that month, and then how many books I bought that month. And I like to just see it month at a glance wise, like comparing March to October or any other months. Here's my series tracker. I'm realizing I need to do this a little bit differently next year. It just didn't work for me when I read new series. I didn't have enough room to add them. Yeah, so we're gonna revamp the series tracker a little bit. And maybe the series that will go in my reading journal for 2025 will more so be my priority series instead of every single series that I'm reading. The next few spreads are my challenges and goals for the year. First up, we've got my Goodreads goal. I just made a box for every book that I read, and I color-coded it by the genre this time. Fun to see. I read a lot of romance, a lot of historical, and I would say contemporary is probably my third most. I'll have a reading statistics video coming out in the next few days too, so if you'd like to see the breakdown of that, stay tuned. Another challenge I did was the buzzword reading challenge put on by Books and Lala. She has a word that you are supposed to find in the books that you read, and I did complete that one, happy to say. We've got the A to Z challenge. I forgot to fill in R, but I did complete this, just reading a book that starts with every letter of the alphabet. Flipping to the next page, we have my Read to Zero challenge. I never intended on reading to zero. However, I wanted to see if I could get my owned TBR down. I started at 244, and I don't know what I'll be at the end of December, but it won't be 244, so that's okay. We had the Book of the Month challenge, which I did complete. I didn't read 5 debut darlings like I had hoped, but I did do the other option of writing up reviews. The write-up wizard, they call it. But I did read 15 Book of the Month books, which is awesome. I'm very proud of myself for that. The last few challenges and goals I had were to read my self-destruct books. Every November, I come up with 12 books that will self-destruct. I would have to unhaul them if I don't read them within the year, and I read 9 out of the 12. And then I also just had 12 books in each of these categories that I wanted to read. 12 adaptations, 12 Kindle books, 12 borrowed books, and 12 nonfiction. We almost hit all of these borrowed books. I think I'll get to 10 out of the 12. This was just a tracker for a book club that I'm in with my friends. We read a book a month. We did listen to a podcast 1 month, but I wanted to track what we read and what I rated each of those. And lastly, I have my Read It or Not challenge, which I didn't end up doing in December, I realize. But every month I picked pieces of paper out of my TBR jar and had to either read them or unhaul them. And that was a super fun challenge to do throughout the year. Now we are jumping into the monthly spreads. I didn't quite know what I wanted at the beginning of the year, and so I was trying things out, especially in January and February, but I think I hit my stride in March. I have each of my themes correspond to the themes in my daily bullet journal that I use. So in January, I had a snowflakes theme. This was actually the snow from Snowy Day by Ezra something. It's a children's book. Anyway, we had what books I pulled from my deck of TBR, my best book of the month, worst book of the month, and then a list of all of my books and stats, books that I bought, and then we got into the reviews. If you would like to read these, feel free to pause. However, it's mostly my personal thoughts and possibly some spoilers. So I don't want you to spoil yourself if you read these, just as a heads up. Also, I do want to note that I put quotes from the book in a certain color for the month. So this month it was blue. Any notable quotes from the book I like to note in my reading journal. I did participate in the Short Stack Readathon in January. Forgot to put this toward the beginning of the month, but had it here. And also I participated in Phase Out Your TBR throughout the year. Chris had multiple rounds throughout the year, and I did Phase 2 in January. Here was a stats page of all my reads in January, and here we're getting to February. This is where I tried out a calendar spread to track when I read things, and I really liked this, and it continued on through the rest of my monthlies. We had a deck of TBR, prompts and books chosen, the books that I read, and books that I bought. And here are the reviews. Stats for February, and we're moving on to March. March was a great month. I read 31 books, and I participated in a couple of different readathons. The first was Middle Grade March, which is hosted by a few lovely ladies here on YouTube. We read middle grade books in the month of March, and it's wonderful. I also participated in Realmathon, which is hosted by Covers with Cassidy. I was a part of the Realm of Shadows, and I guess we won. I don't even remember that. But I had our prompts here on this little tip-in, and I tracked points as I went with my reviews. How many points I added to our team or subtracted from other teams. And there was 31 books I read in March, so lots of reviews here. There was also a Phase Out Your TBR round in March, and here were the stats. Here's April. Again, same theme that I did in my regular daily bullet journal for April. Just continued it on to my reading journal. This looks very similar as kind of a monthly dashboard. And if I have any readathons, it normally goes on this next page, but if there are no readathons for the month, I jump straight into reviews. Stats for April. Moving on into May. I did a suits or a card suits theme because I introduced my Patreon to the world, which is based off of card suits. I participated in Escape the Readathon. I was on the snack squad. We ended up getting 3rd place, and I also did another phase of Phase Out Your TBR. Here were the reviews. Oh, it's fun to look back at everything you read each month. Stats for May, and move on to June. Love this little floral theme with purples and greens. Read quite a few books in June too, with 16. And jumped straight into reviews here. You can see I kind of go back and forth with readathons. I do a lot in 1 month and then take a month off. Oh, although there was a phase out your TBR. Oh, but that was July. Gotta pay attention here. July, I did just greenery for my theme. Went straight into reviews. Stats for July, and on to August. I did it a little different because I had my deck of TBR-a-thon in August that I hosted with Chloe from Always Booked. So I did my calendar on this spread just to like not waste space, and then I had my whole deck of TBR-a-thon prompt board here. All the books I read, I was obviously hoping to read a lot more, but only got 14 in, or 13. Here are the reviews. Stats, and on to September. September was a slumpy month because of the readathon in August, so I only read 7 books and didn't participate in any readathons. Reviews only took up 2 spreads. How sad. Here's my stats, and we have a blank page here that I just didn't fill. Here is October. Again, not a great reading month. 7 books read in October. But I did participate in Becca's Spookoplathon. I did 5 rolls. Looks like I only completed 4 of them, though. And here are the reviews and stats. November, the penultimate month of the year. I think I finally got my reading mojo back. I read 11 books and felt really good about my reading month. Stats page for November, and here we are on to December. This is not completed yet. I have not filled in my reading journal for a couple of weeks now, just with vacations and Christmas break, so I'm a little bit behind, but this is what it looks like for now with the reviews. And I had a blank spread here for stats, and then I'm not gonna tell you, but this last spread here is my best book of 2024 bracket, and you can check out the video I posted yesterday if you would like to see what won my best book of 2024. Anyway, that is the journal for the year. I love it. I still love how it turned out. I think I am probably going to do something very similar for 2025. I just love the crafty theme, the browns and tans. It just fits my reading taste and my reading journal taste. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you used a reading journal in 2024 and if you plan to use one in 2025. And what is your one spread that you can't live without? It'd be great to hear about that in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.